Hi and welcome to my class where we are going to create a PHP blog website completely from scratch. So if you are here, I hope you are at least knowledgeable about front-end and back-end aspects and the syntaxes of PHP so as you can follow along with me and pass this journey with me. So with everything having ready, let's start from the front end of our website and let me show you my plan how it's gonna happen. So this is my plan for the main page. Here in this area, which I highlighted right now, we are gonna have a carousel just below the header and then an area where we are gonna showcase our posts. Here in this area, let me use another tool. We are gonna have our search of functionality. Here, in this green area, we are gonna put our categories and below, of course, the footer. And all of this is gonna include also a special admin panel too, where a main admin of the website will be able to create, delete, add categories and posts and users. So let's get started. I have already installed my VS Code and it's gonna be of great help to us today. I have also installed a nice application called Live Server. If you are not familiar with it, so Live Server will automatically refresh the page in our browser, the one you can see here, anytime we make a change. So it's a nice app, like you don't have to do things manually. It seems small, but when you start developing, it really starts to take some time. These small tasks, whatever you can make it happen automatically, it's always welcome. So let's close this and tapping the exclamation mark at top, let's get started directly with our basic HTML code. So let's start here by adding some links to our website. First of all, I think our website will be completely fine if we use Bootstrap in here. It's gonna economize time, and so as we can be more concerned to do some backend stuff. So I'm gonna go to getbootstrap.com and going to get started, or better, you can do it from here, but there is another option as well. I would like today to go with cdnjs.com. For those of you who don't know what cdnjs is, it's CDN is our hosts in all around the world. So like anytime someone wants to connect to your website, he or she are gonna get the files from the closest host. So which is gonna dramatically speed up your loading time of your website. So let's go until the end here. We have Bootstrap 5. Like I'm gonna go with it because Bootstrap 5, like in comparison to Bootstrap 4, has a lot more faster and better performance, and the files are much more minified. They have less size, which is good for any website. So let's copy the link tab. It's the Bootstrap CSS file. I'm gonna add it like right under the title. I would like to add some comments too, so as later we know what's happening in here. It's our Bootstrap CSS file, and of course we are gonna add Bootstrap JavaScript file as well, because it contains information about the carousel, because in the top header section I want to make a carousel of the posts, so it already has functionality in there, so we don't have to write a lot of code in our front end. So I'm gonna grab the JS file as well. So that's it from the Bootstrap. The next what we need is font have some. So as we are able to grab some nice icons, let's come here. It's font have some 6. Nice, and we are doing just completely the same. We are gonna add here the CSS file and the JavaScript file as well. So I believe that's it. It has to go right under the title, right one line above the title. So let's go for it. I'm using a Bluetooth mouse. It sometimes starts doing a bad job for me. So let's write here font have some instead of Bootstrap. Have some, correct. And let's paste the link in here. Let's check if we did it correctly. Yes, it's right what we need. And right, let's do the same for the JavaScript file. So comments are always welcome. This is gonna make your code much more better and understandable for other developers. So let's go for it. We're gonna everything, which is all the files minified in JavaScript. So let's copy the script tag. It comes right here, saving the result, and that's it. For now, we have font have some too, and of course we are gonna need also our own CSS files, which of course, because the project is big, I'm not gonna do it in the same location. I'm gonna create a folder called assets. I'm gonna add another folder there which is called CSS, and I'm gonna add a file in CSS which is called style.css. Again, we go with the same way. We add a style, we add a comment on the top, and let's link our file. The relationship is gonna be as a style sheet, and the href value is gonna be now assets, CSS, and style CSS file. Let's check for the connection if everything goes right. Going to the head element in our styles. Yeah, I guess everything goes correctly. Okay, so right now I believe we have done the most of our job. Just what is left for us to do, let's grab a font from Google Fonts, which we are gonna use instead of the default one, which usually Chrome browser is going to suggest to us. I have a nice font in my mind which I used in my recent projects, and I believe this is really what I need. Thinking about which styles I want to use, I think I'm gonna grab some of them and then we will see which ones we are gonna use. Let's take 700 and we don't need anything more, and I'm gonna including as a link. So let's take these. Do I have other font in here? Let's check it out. Looks like everything is okay. Now we are just gonna copy these links and use in our HTML file to embed them and use the font as our main font. So I'm gonna go down more, add a comment here telling that these are our Google fonts. these are in later period is gonna help us to understand the code we have written better. So just pasting the content, and let's beautify the file. Those who don't know, this is a nice application. It makes your lines align together, making your code much more readable. You can find it in apps area. This is the one beautified by Cookie QR. It's fairly easy. You do just Control Shift, hold it, use to P, and you choose the beautify file option. And sometimes it's gonna ask you, is it CSS, HTML, or JavaScript? So that's it. Our fonts are included, so we can move forward. Let's add this to our CSS code. Let's check. Yes, we have CSS included. I'm gonna tell to everything that the font is gonna be, let's check, is it copied? No. Let's try again. So for everything, my font is gonna be what we see here together. So right now we are ready with the basic structure. Let's pass to the creation of the header. So to make the header, let's go down inside our body tag above our JavaScript code. For those who are the beginners, just to let you know that JavaScript is synchronous language. And so basically to stop not to waste much loading time on the devices, they put JavaScript just in the end, so it comes right in the end. Like if you have a JavaScript which needs to come from the beginning, you just put it here, or you put the JavaScript code like in the same script tag, and you add in the end defer. Defer is gonna mean that it needs to be loaded in the end. So these are two options. You either add it in the end, or you put it in the head area and you make it defer. So anything you choose. Like we are gonna start with basic header structure, which is gonna be our full width. Let's remember that we are using Bootstrap, and Bootstrap has a native class called container fluid, which is basically a container which has full width. Like the reason we give it, because we're gonna give a background color to everything, and instead we are gonna have another container which is gonna have all the menu elements which we are having. We are gonna pass through by each line here. Just soon that let's write here. We are creating another row which is a native Bootstrap functionality. Again, row is just everything, which means everything that is here is gonna be on one single line, like you see here. So that's nice. That's what we needed. And Bootstrap has another. Let's divide it. One gonna take 4 columns, and the other area, I think we will be good to go with 8 columns. So what this means that, let's imagine we have 100% of the width inside the container. Well, it's divided into 12 parts. So 4 from 12 are gonna go to the elements inside this div, and another 8 are gonna go to the other div. For this, like, I just gonna tell there something about the website, kind of a logo. I'm not gonna create a logo, like there is no need for that. I'm just gonna leave it here like that, not give an href value. We will give it in the end, and here I'm gonna say the blog. It's nice, I think, but let's make it upper cases in buff areas. So I believe it looks nice, but I think it would be nicer to have it inside h1 tag, just to keep the semantics. What are the semantics? So as there is a one main h1 which Google can consider as a text which consists of the main information about the website. So basically, if you had kind of, for example, your blog of John Strato, you are gonna put here the blog of John. Let's write the name here. So you are gonna put here the name, and basically every time the Google searches, the Google is gonna understand that John Strato is that is the main text in the website, and John Strato is gonna be one of the keywords your Google is gonna use your website for. But I'm gonna leave it like a blog. I know about search engine optimization, but to be honest, our lesson is not about that today. So just fixing this, I intended to have this inside 4-column area. Right now, we continue to write the main menu elements into 8-column areas. If you don't understand it yet, just don't worry. We are gonna pass by this. I will show you how it works in developer tools in our Chrome. So in our 8-column area, we would rather to have our navigation. So let's make, instead of a div, a navigation. It's a nicer idea. And have an unordered list. And into unordered list, let's have our list elements, which are gonna have our links. And if you are familiar with HTML and CSS, the links need to be inside a tags. But as soon as they are in an unordered list, we just first need to wrap them inside our li tags. I'm not gonna give an href value yet. So for those who don't know, href value is the link to which on click the URL will point us to. We are just leaving here, putting this sign, which means it is gonna redirect it to himself. Let's make some elements, like I'm gonna make one about us. I believe 4 elements are enough for us. About us. Let's make a home again. Let's make a blog, and I think we can make a registration to here. This is just, I think we will make some edits there, but this is okay for us to have this structure for now. But what I think, let's save this and see what we have right now, and then like make an update about the login registration. I think it would be nicer to have them to show a registration button when we hover on login. So let's see what we have. Like, it looks good, I think. No, what we have, but I think under the UL element, I'm gonna add this later. So let's first style this area, and only then I will pass to the next area. So let's start from coloring. I wanna add some styles to all the tags with H1, H2, H3. I'm not gonna use all of them in this lesson, but it would be nice to have some basic styling. For the color, I already picked up a color from my previous project, which I want to use here. It's 5C, 5B, 5B. I believe I made a mistake here. Yeah. So this looks nicer. Let's go to the website and see here. It's the same bluish color. So by continuing, I am gonna give a background color to the body. I don't want it to be fully white. I'm gonna use the F6. Let's see how it looks like in our color mania. Sorry, yeah, it So let's go here, F6, F6, F6. Yeah, it's not white, but it's kind of gives you the feeling that you have something different. So let's go for this. Like we can see here that we have these underlines on A tags. So this is the basic default customization of anchor tags. We of course don't need them. I think these are not really so beautiful. So I'm gonna tell it that its text decoration is gonna be none, and in anchor text have by default this bluish color. Like we don't need either. We are just gonna tell it that it needs to inherit the color from its parent element. And yeah, like we really see what really needs to be done. Let's move on and continue with the customization of the header area. So first of all, let's try kind of a color, a background color for the top part. What I think that needs to be done here, I'm gonna give it a background color. I want something bluish, so let's try to pick a color in here. I believe this is good. Anyway, we have a chance to change it always during the project if we really don't like it. This is the same F6. Sorry, I did not copy it properly. So that's here. We gave it a background color, and I want it to have some kind of height. Usually in CSS, you need to avoid to giving any permanent height to any kind of element, but when we speak especially about the header area, especially about menu line, sometimes the height is really needed. And as soon as we give a background color, we don't need to this color for header. I think we are good with the white, so with white color. So I'm gonna tell everything inside header. That's why I put this sign, and I'm gonna tell here that this is gonna be white. So sorry, let's give it color of F. One more F to make it more correct. That's, I think this should work already. Let's see why it's not working. Let me check the page again. I think, yeah, it was just a reloading issue. So after reloading, it all came back to normal. So let's continue our styling. First of all, let's go to our design. I'm gonna highlight what's my plan for the future. So what you see in here, where is the blog? It's gonna stay on the right, left. On the right side, we are gonna have these menu elements, but as I talked about registration area, I'm gonna make it a bit different. It's gonna come just next to these three elements, and it's gonna be different text. So for example, if we have here sign in, as soon as the user is signed in, I am gonna make this logout, something connected to already logged in user experience. I think that's what I want to tell you, and to be more concrete in what we are doing, I'm gonna, let me choose a nice tool for me to show up. In this area, we are gonna have a slider of posts, so of single posts that we are going to create. So that's it. Let's clear this and continue our styling. I am gonna split my screen into two parts. So let's do it like this. In one area, it's style. Here we are gonna go fully with the index. So first of all, we have all the colors already in white, so we don't have anything to worry. I'm just gonna add some margin to our elements so as they look nice and clean. So I'm gonna start with the top area. So it's gonna be header h1 tag, and let's try to give a margin top of, let's try 16 pixels. Let's see what comes out from it. Yeah, I'm not happy with this, like, for sure. I think it's gonna be 13. Yeah, 13 is a lot more better. The color is white, so for this we are fully understandable. What I don't like here, you see on hover, again we get some native list, unordered list styles. So let's make sure we remove all of them. I'm gonna make again a header and unordered list. Yeah, my keyboard today kind of works a bit weird. It's polluted, so I think there was a signal disturbing it. I'm gonna like reset everything that is connected with the basic specifications, and of course let's remove the list styling. I believe it was a list style tab. Yeah, it suggests to us it's again gonna be none. Let's see what we have now. Yeah, I believe it should have gone already, but let's also add a float to that so as the elements are nice and tidy. Yeah, I mean it's really good what we have. I just, yeah, it's all gone. I think we are just gonna make it a flex, and really that's it. So let's understand which is the flex. So let's make it a display of flex. That's it. Let's reload the page, and that is nice. So just to make the things a bit better, I'm gonna add padding next to each element, but let's leave it for later. So let's start, let's continue, and I believe it already gave float to unordered list, that it's already good. And to the header list elements, we are gonna give float right. Those of you who don't know what's float, like, I can suggest you a nice resource. It's W3 School, where you can study it. Floating sometimes causes problems, but for our case, it works very good. So let's make it a float of right, and make it relative, because I think we are gonna have some nice styling for future, so having it in relative position is gonna help. So yeah, it's here. Let's save this, see what's going on in our page, and that's good. We need padding here for sure. You can see that about us, home, there is nothing really good looking. All the elements are stuck together, and to be honest, I don't like actually the sizing of it. So let's start here by adding some classes to anchor text inside our lists. So let's copy this, and here what we are gonna say, they are gonna be blocks. Like, block elements are better stuff for us. I'm not gonna go too much into pixels. I think using rams is completely okay. So one ram is 16 pixels. So let's say 1.2 is like 20% more in sizing. So let's make text decoration, which is gonna be 9, again, to make sure that remove all the default stylings of anchor tags. We have the color, and let's add some padding of 22 pixels and see how our website looks like. Going in here, yes, everything is much more better, except the fact that on hover, this guy's become kind of bluish color. Again, default styling. Let's change the color for the hover state. So we are gonna do it this way, and here we're gonna say, I think nothing special. We can leave the hovering color. I think we can make it a bit different. So let's not leave it white, but the bluish color is not a fit for us too. So this color, so I think it's on your personal feeling what you like. I personally think that this color is gonna go really good with the blue background color we have. Let's see how it looks like. Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's completely good, except I don't want any hovering effect for this the blog area. So let's go to our H1. It's H1A. So let's change this to. Yeah, it takes a bit of time what we are doing. Yeah, but front end it really takes time. It seems easy, but then it's when you start working, you start understanding that it takes so much time doing some simple small stuff. So here I'm gonna say that the color is gonna be white, and I don't want anything else. So let's give me a second. Yeah, that's it. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, it's nice, and the other elements are getting covered. Actually, I like what we did until now. But before I officially tell that we are done with this header area, I just wanna make this registration area drop down so as it can tell also login. And I'm gonna do the opposite. Here it's gonna be written login, and when you hover, it's gonna open for you the registration button. So let's go to our code editor and make this idea come to life. So I'm gonna do it this way. It's gonna be multi-dimensional. So let's keep the structure here. And the best way of doing dropdown, which I have used it a lot, I'm gonna make another unordered list here so I can give my own styling. It's gonna have, as usual, a list, and it's gonna have an anchor tag with an href value. As we discussed, it's still gonna be empty with just a placeholder, and I'm gonna move registration here, and here it will be just to log in. So having it ready, let's see how it looks like. So let's jump to our Chrome browser and see, yeah, it comes right here. It's not actually what we would like to have, so let's do some styling on it. Before we do that, let's add some comments in our CSS, because with the time our sections are gonna grow, and we need always to understand where something starts and where it ends and the other comes to start. So basically, again, let's go in a traditional way which we used. So I'm gonna refer to header. From header, I'm gonna refer to another list, and to the list, and let's see that in a list we have another unordered list. So whatever we write is gonna be about what we have written, and that's the reason I made the list relative. So as with absolute positioning, we might be able to give good position to the element. So this unordered list is gonna be absolutely positioned to the list element which is above. Let's remember that we made the li with a relative position, so it's gonna be to that. The height of this top is 70 pixels, so I'm gonna do top 70 pixels. It's gonna be from the right side, that's why I'm gonna put it 0. Let's try the width of 250 pixels and check it out how it looks like, and it's gonna be display none because we don't need to be actually visible as we have seen. And let's add some z-index. I'm gonna go with 2 z-index, I believe is okay. And what we are gonna do right now, if we go to our website, actually, like we can clearly see that it's not visible. That's what we intended to do, but it's not just that. We need to show it as soon as the element is hovered. So let's go for it. So header unordered list, and then list on hover. We are gonna make all unordered list to display block as a block element. Let's save this and see if we got the result. Yeah, nice. It's really there. It's something which I wanted to do. But let's add some styling to this. Yeah, you see when we take this out, it's not showing up anymore. So this is what we really wanted to do, but it's not the end. So we made it a block, but we have also a list inside there. So let's give it some stylings, some actual stylings which are gonna help. So I'm gonna make it of 100% width. I believe that's nice. And let's do something about anchor tags as well. So I'm gonna go like this again, and this time just to talk to the anchor tags. So I believe some padding is nice to have, which is not 0, I believe 10 pixels from all the sides is gonna look good. The background, let's put it, let's pick a color of our like what feel like, and we will change it for later when slideshow is ready. We will find a better one, but let's find something for the initial working. So I would like to have some bold bluish color close to black. So this is what I like in our case. Let's save this and understand how it's going on inside our browser. Yes, it looks, I think, good, but it's really too much area. I'm gonna limit us with just 180 pixels, or let's try 90. So let's go now. I think it looks cool. This is what I would really like to get. So yeah, officially this header area is done. The next step which we are gonna take together is the creation of the slider. So let's move to it. If you remember our planning, let me show you one more time. Like I wanted to do a slider in this area. A slider of posts actually, which looks which is completely nice looking thing. I'm gonna clean what I did, but before we pass to the slider, let's first of all understand what I did. If you know CSS, like you need to pass this, but I want to make sure that people who are really not familiar with it really understand what I'm doing. Like we added Bootstrap. Bootstrap is a set of different classes which you already have, so you don't have to every time write. For example, for container fluid, we can see that already a lot of styles written, so we don't have to do it manually. So that's the reason we added Bootstrap. So this class makes it a 100% width minus those, I guess, 15%, about 15 pixels, yeah, 12 from right and the left. And then we have another container. Container already gets much more margin from left and right, and we get all the rest. We talked about rows. Rows come in a one-line elements, and in a row we have division of 12 columns. Like, let me draw it for you for more visual view. So it's like sorry, if it won't be cool enough. So kind of is divided like this into 12 equal areas. It was not so beautiful, but I guess you get the meaning. And so by telling call 4, we basically tell that it takes 4, the width of the 4 of those columns, and here it takes 8 of them. So that's what we did together. For additional styling, I think you go to W3 school, you have a lot of things nice and interesting in there. Right now, let's pass to slider. So we'll work on slider like I think on the next lesson. I believe this lesson already got about 40 minutes wrong, 30, 40 minutes. So I'm not gonna put the so long lesson. I think it's better to have them divided into some mini lessons. So I will leave it like this until now what we have. And I'm gonna put the source code too, so as you can work with it and try something on your own. And guys, you're welcome to give any questions you have in the comments. I will be there for you to answer. Thanks for watching. Leave comments, subscribe, which is gonna help a lot both to you and me. And till the next lesson, I think I will be able to upload and record next lesson tomorrow. So I will be moving as fast as possible. So wish you good coding.